Welcome to another St. Pete by Night production. The following is rated for mature audiences and may contain graphic themes that will be distressing to some viewers. As always, we recommend you ensure the safety and well-being of yourself and those around you at all times. Viewer discretion is advised.
In the heart of night, we rise from shadows, howling at the moon, igniting our battles, cleansing dire of an endless fight, until our final days we will fight. Thanks, man, we stand united as one. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us where the grave dare tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take our final stand. Everywhere we run, the wind is at our back. All the warring forces we will track. From the depths of the ocean to the clouds in the sky, vampires tremble as we learn to fight. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us where the brave dare tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take our final stand. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Everywhere with the pack, let the night be our guide. In battles of honor, we shall never hide. Rock will never hide.
Good evening and welcome to the St. Pete by Night Entertainment Network. St. Petersburg by Night is an online World of Darkness role-playing community originated in St. Petersburg, Florida, but now spread to the world at large. My name is Kent, also known as Michikent on all social media, and I will be your storyteller tonight. And it's Tuesday night, and you know what that means. It's time for Rage Across Tampa, our Werewolf the Apocalypse 5th edition chronicle set in the city of Tampa, Florida, where the Sept of the Evening Star attempts to combat the forces of the worm, both physical and spiritual. But before we get to all of that, have you followed St. Pete by Night on all of that social media you see listed down below? If not, you should go do so right now. We got a couple of minutes here before we get into our story, so why not go follow all that? And while you're clicking links, why not head over to the Ko-fi and become a Ko-fi member, where for as low as $5 a month, you can get access to all kinds of behind-the-scenes material, including the Rosebud Thorns for every single program we have on our channel. So if you want to hear what the players have to say after the fact about how the session went, the things they liked, the things they're looking forward to, then why not sign up? Because that $5 a month really helps benefit this channel, this program, and this community, and we are grateful for it. So let's get to the matter at hand, to Rage Across Tampa, by introducing the amazing players and special guests that make this program possible. Players, go ahead and introduce yourselves if you please.
Hi, everybody. I'm Champagne, JB, from a long ass fucking time ago in a town called Kickapoo. And I will be playing Aspen Wise, Philodox of the Silverfangs.
Hi everybody, I'm Nori. I will be playing Malicious Jester, the Galliard of the Black Furies.
Hey everyone, I'm Preston, and I'm the constant search for the pick of destiny. But I play Jason no longer Dreams in Decay Thorn, because that has been completely forgotten. The Urge of the Bonar.
Howdy do, how are all of you? I hope you're enjoying your newfound powers as a superhero, to break from the introduction jokes. My name is Nick. I'm playing Izzy, aka Entwined Smiles with Claws, the Arun child of Gaia.
Howdy, hello, Internet. Hi, I'm Echo. I can barely believe I'm on Rage instead of Hellhounds. I'm cute. And I will be playing, for your viewing pleasure, Willow Wisp, the Galliard of the Children of Gaia.
So does that make me KG or Kyle? Okay. All right. Just double checking. He's my least favorite one, but that's fine. I'll take it. Anyway, let's get into this crazy whirlwind show that we have by getting everybody caught up on what happened last week in our special 100th episode. Oh my God, I can't believe it's been 100 episodes of Rage Across Tampa, where the pack went into the dreaming finally to try and recover Turtle and bring them back to the world of men and Guru. It was an unexpected encounter. When first they arrived, they ran into Ravi, who had supposedly been dead for quite some time, ever since before the attack on Piney Point. But it seems that whatever it was that Moses did to undo the magic that trapped Ishu also put some things right by returning Ravi to life. The pack had to take a few minutes and kind of deal with this fact as conflicting memories started to overwrite one another in their minds as they tried to put together the pieces of what is real and what is not. What of their experiences still happened in this reality shifting move, and what was new for them to discover. Eventually, they ventured into the dreaming itself, where they found out that they were going to be tested as storytellers of a sort. I saw that eye roll. And they encountered an audience that attempted to make them perform. They encountered the story thief, who appeared to be responsible for the gradual disappearance of Turtle, in which point he tested them to see, why should Turtle be returned? Why should this story be told instead of forgotten? Because for those who don't know, Turtle had been gone for a very long time. It had started to drift more and more from the lore of the Guru, as well as the tribe known as the Croatan. Well, after a convincing argument by all of the pack members, especially Jester, who recounted the story of Turtle's sacrifice, a sacrifice had to be made by the pack, and that sacrifice came in the form of Jason Dreams and Decay's deed name. With that sacrifice being made, the name was removed from all consciousness, all memory, and from history, leaving Jason as Jason Thorne. What that means for the future, what that means for his renown, what that means for how he's regarded remains to be seen. But eventually, the pack did return from the dreaming to find Charles awaiting them in the cairn, at which point he said, "We have to talk. Some things have happened, and they are not good." So let's go ahead and kick it off right after the return of the pack to the cairn. So, as you take that sigh of relief, stepping out of the dreaming, looking over the cairn, which has now grown much more rich and full, that nature has returned, that life has returned, so much so that you can see the guardian spirits who had previously been, for the most part, trapped to their trees, actively walking the grounds of the cairn, seemingly emboldened by the return of Turtle. And Turtle had changed the very landscape of the cairn itself, now taking the form of a large rocky outcropping near the center of the clearing. But it's easy to get lost in all of that before being snapped back to the reality of the waking world when Charles arrives and says, "We have to talk." At this point, he steps in front of everyone and says, "You've been gone about a week," which is not overly surprising, but during that week, there were some developments. First, some of our new residents in the area, the leeches, decided to come to the park. Luckily, Stakes and I were nearby and cut them off before they could make any real headway toward the cairn. But it appears that a ghoul and a leech, one of the like Spud, were investigating because the ghoul was seeking us out, supposedly to find a way out of the vampiric existence. Now, normally, I would have just disposed of both of them and been done with it, but because of everything I have been learning about patience and compassion, I decided to take the ghoul, who bargained for the life of the leech, and let them go. The ghoul is now in captivity within the cell inside of the so-called rage room to remove the effects of being a ghoul as best as possible, at which point my intention is to have their memory altered and have them returned to the world of men. But this does pose an interesting problem, as it does seem to violate and threaten the agreement we had with that group in my mind. So before taking any action, I think it's something that we need to discuss.
First of all, it doesn't break the agreement because the agreement was within their territory. We would leave them alone. They came seeking us out. Very different. But I do see how having another potential threat at our doorstep could be problematic. Problem is them coming to seek us out again.
Well, it brings up many concerns. One, why did they know where to go? And two, why would they be so foolish as to go there? They have other means of communications, namely the Ratkin. And I have a difficult time accepting the Thrall's story due to the fact that they did bring a leech with them. I think they were merely trying to find a way out of trouble. But I'm taking them at their word. And worst comes to worst, they die in that cell, which they would have anyway.
I have two questions, Charles. You said that when you and Stakes or Claim encountered this pair, the leech was the one who begged for the ghoul?
It was the ghoul who begged for the safety of the leech.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. And then for this ghoul, they're in the rage room. Do we know anything about them? Specifically, are they attached to any particular leech? I assume, and with that, he will look to the rest of the pack here. I assume you've kept some sort of tabs on the people we've allowed to set up shop in our territory?
Yes. Well, Stakes has been taking the primary job of guard, bringing them their food, their meals. I figure no one is better suited for the job than her. And she was able to learn that this particular thrall is attempting to get away from some sort of vicious dominator. A ruthless one, but from what she said, they didn't have any obvious hold over them at the time. Something unusual has occurred with this particular one.
Well, we know leeches, and leeches are crafty. I don't know what their angle is, but
My concern is, why would they want to escape this life yet show such concern for another who is still within it?
You think they're lying?
Their story doesn't add up to me. If they really were trying to escape, why not come alone? At least then there would be more plausibility to it.
And the leech they were with, I guess, wasn't their master?
No.
That seems very odd.
This provides an opportunity, however, and gives us some leverage with these particular leeches in this particular territory. They had reached out for a meeting before. I think, or I recommend, he says, looking to Aspen, we wait until they reach out again. And if nothing else, we have a bargaining chip in the form of the leech, if they, or of the ghoul, if they decide to petition for their return. It will also give us a good idea of the ghoul's true intentions if they wish to go back.
I agree. I think they know that, well, I would assume by now they know that they came here if the other one went running back to them. I worry that they will run in here and make a problem for us. So the waiting is a hard one to rectify, and she'll look to the rest of the group.
Well, there's an obvious way to stop them from being a problem. To nullify the agreement and remove the problem before they get the chance to act.
And just to be clear, they didn't try to sneak up on you or stakes or claim, just wanted to chat.
In fact, they called out to stakes her claim in lupus form while she was along the river's edge. This provided the opportunity and distraction for me to surround them. They were in fact there with a group of humans attempting to clean up the park. Luckily, there were no humans in the immediate area when I encountered them.
Now that seems awfully odd. If they wanted to speak with us so badly, why did they bother with the cover like that?
I mean, they have a no-tell, no-show kind of rule like we do. They probably didn't want to discuss non or supernatural business in front of a bunch of humans. But maybe they were also using it for, like, cover.
Or an attempt at showing goodwill.
Leeches cleaning nature. Yeah.
I'm skeptical, to say the least. Sorry.
When territories are crossed, usually you'll hold whoever you capture for a set period of time, and you show a force when you actually have a sit down. A conversation, I think, needs to be had. But the way that this can be utilized, we can flip this. I don't know how yet, but they have done something against us when we told them to, basically, if they cross these lines, something would happen to them. We can't show good faith. But there is something here that we could turn to aid us in our own ends. I haven't gotten to that point yet, but I'm working on it. There's something here.
They have inside information, I'm sure. Information we could use.
But as a counterpoint, this also shows weakness. Having not killed the ones responsible for breaching the agreement potentially means that we don't seem as severe as we should. If 2 can get away with it, how many more will try?
I said it shows strength. We show the compassion side to have that sit down, but something needs to be done for it. They have to pay for what they've done because an agreement was struck and they have broken it.
Even more peculiar, they came during the day, including the leech.
Oh.
You said
Now-
it was...
We've come to learn that, like Spud, they are capable of doing so, which is the only way I knew that they weren't a full leech.
What were you saying, Jester?
He said it.
Okay. I think we're at a crossroads of sorts. I think what Jace suggested is good. I don't want to cause another disagreement with another group if we don't have to. But what I think needs to happen before all of that, and she'll look to Jace, I think you need to talk to Skeeter.
Can make that happen.
He's the connection between our two parties.
At this point, Eliza speaks up, who has been extremely quiet ever since your return from the dreaming. I think I'd like to see this particular thrall. They've probably found themselves scared, intimidated, and I don't know if they've begun experiencing the effects of withdrawal yet. But perhaps a softer touch and a kinder approach could get to the source of what their true intentions are.
A good diplomatic approach, I'd say. And if they're obstinate or underhanded, then we can resort to as we are due in this engagement.
I could also venture into their dreams or alter their memories.
I
Well-
think that it's an option to get more insight information. And just be careful who we have going to see them. Don't need to know all of our faces.
Agreed? Unfortunately, Charles says that's not everything. Forged from Failures has returned from Michigan with the child.
Just forged.
Yes.
Oh.
Do we know what happened?
The report says that they encountered Black Spiral Dancer resistance, that his brother was working with them, and actually had become one himself. Apparently, they had taken steps to alter the memory of his family to the point that they had forgotten his existence. They continued to play mind games at the location of their former sept by leaving evidence of the destruction of the members of that sept in the form of photographs. And then, when this caused a severe reaction from Juniper and Forged, both of them, well, Juniper frenzied, and Forged was able to restrain her, but took a great deal of damage in the process, and both of them were knocked unconscious, at which point they woke up in a hospital bound by the philodox of their former sept. this Philodox by the name of Aaron had apparently changed allegiances as well, as she delivered them to the mines at Tilden, where the brother and 2 other spirals were waiting. At this point, the brother apparently started to antagonize Forged, blaming him for everything that had happened, and told him that he needed to make a choice and make a sacrifice to the worm, whether it was himself, the child, or Juniper. He chose to try and shoot his brother, which in turn started a conflict as Juniper broke her binds and attacked. Throughout that encounter, it seems that Forged was knocked unconscious, and at that point, when he woke up, he saw that everyone in the room, the 2 spirals and his brother, were dead, as was Juniper.
And what of the child?
The child seems unscathed, unharmed, but when they returned, I felt it best to give Forged a choice. That either he step away from the life of a guru and devote himself to raising his child, as speaking from experience, being raised in guru culture has its downsides. Or he give the child up to a family of Ghislaine to be raised by them until his coming of age, as Stakes informed us he is kin. He chose the latter option. And so he and Stakes took the child to Georgia, where the Sept of the Fertile Soil had a Ghislaine family that were able to take the child Cooper in to assist in raising him. I know this is a great deal of information, and at this point he's specifically looking at Jester to take in upon your arrival, but I figured it was best to come from me than to be found out incidentally.
How is the other pack reacting?
They are taking it very hard. Fortunately, they are finding a project to help them through it, and they are focusing on the efforts in Ybor City to prepare for the cairn.
That's good. I think I'd like to go home now.
All right. If you have any other questions, Aspen, please let me know. But that's everything of note.
Okay. And she'll kind of just like a curt kind of okay, and she'll just kind of squeeze Jester's shoulder as she goes, just to kind of give that comfort there. But doesn't want to pry too much and let her feel her emotions.
Charles wraps an arm around Jester's shoulders and leads her out of the clearing leaving the three of you and Eliza, who still has a very 1,000-yard stare, which seems to have grown to 2,000 yards at this news. I'm glad the child was saved, but that was a heavy cost.
Yeah. Seems like a lot of the good always comes with some bad.
Doesn't sound like there were a great many details about the overall encounter, but I also am not surprised to hear Forge's recounting being a little vague.
And any news of how Forged is with all of it as well?
Well, we'll have to see. I suppose Charles didn't really get into detail about that, so I'm guessing the boy is still experiencing a great deal of shock. And having to give up his child so shortly after, that can be difficult for anyone.
I'll make sure to check on him, but Jace, you wanna check on him as well, just to make sure.
Yeah, I'll talk
Well,
to him.
Rat to rat, I think would be better.
Aspen,
Yes.
I don't know the Hellhounds pack that well outside of the newest members. But do you know if do you know if they have access to any rites for remembrance and comfort?
They do. I'm sure they do. I'm sure, if anything, Delphine is on it as we speak.
Okay. Best not to let those kinds of things fester from personal experience.
I agree, but want to make sure that they have full control of it. It was their pack mate, and we can just do whatever we can to help in the process.
At this point, Eliza looks to all of you, her gaze snapping to the present. It's true, a great deal of sacrifice is necessary to do the good we do in this world, but we must take the wins where we can get them. We succeeded in our efforts. Let's try our best to focus on that. A lot of good was done here, and I think we're just beginning to experience benefits of that good. Now, if y'all excuse me, I need to rest, she says with a smile as she starts making her way over towards the RVs nearby.
I think we should all get some rest. We could probably appreciate the wins a lot better tomorrow.
As the pack disperses, going their separate ways, what's going through your minds with all this new information coupled with the experience you've just had? Aspen, will start with you, then Jester, then Jace, and then finally Izzy.
Aspen already didn't have the best time in the dreaming. It was nothing like she thought it was going to be, and it was frustrating and irritating, but they accomplished what they went there for, and that was great and wonderful. And seeing the cairn different was a real high, and getting to explore all of that will be really enjoyable. And then, of course, there's no win without at least a couple of losses, and that is absolutely prevalent after Charles' debrief. And now it's not really getting to celebrate the wins. It's mourning losses and picking up pieces and more work. And that's not to mention all the looming threats and looming problems that we already had before we even left for the dreaming. So it's just it's another problem, the ghoul. It's another loss, Juniper. And just really hoping that we start getting some really big wins and get to see what bringing Turtle back really means, because that's the hope in all of it. That's what makes it mean something.
Jester.
The dreaming was also not what I expected. I had expected something more scary and dangerous, and actually came to like it there and enjoy our time there and the quest we were on, because it was like a story. And so I came out more confident, and seeing the cairn greener and beautiful, and just that instant change with Turtle's return was definitely a high. But then, of course, the real world loved to shock me out of it with something else being taken. And now I'm sad, I'm in shock, I'm a lot of things that I can't quite unravel at the moment, and I need time to do that.
Jace.
Coming out of the dreaming, he was feeling pretty good. A long sought after promise finally fulfilled, seeing the place that he has learned and come to love in such a green, luscious overgrowth, and then immediately hit with two things that set them back. With every victory with Guru life, there's always two or more things that are going to knock you back, and this is not what he was expecting to come back to, or as soon when he returned. And then hearing about Forge having to give up his kid, and with what Jace has gone through, he feels for Forge, but he feels for Cooper as well. And he's trying to figure out a way to make Forge feel a little bit more complete with his answer. But it's hard with everything that Jace is going through.
Definitely rings home more for Jace, having been in the foster system, having been raised the way he was. Izzy.
Izzy is scatterbrained. Having arrived from the dreaming with the rest of the pack, he saw, as everyone did, the return of Turtle, the bounding of the wild, and he was getting ready for a half dozen jokes about, we barely got any sleep in dreaming. But then, as the nature of the Garu so often does, the setbacks came at the heels of victory. And though he does not have the same degree of connection with the people affected, he didn't know Juniper. In fact, he probably, until this moment, didn't know that she and Jester were related. He felt that nodding sympathy of caring for people in his life who are in hurting and pain. And as he heard the story, although he doesn't have the same sorrow for Juniper, he does have a bubbling rage that he thinks a certain fellow Arun felt, seeing someone very close to him dance the spiral. And that wells in his chest before he looks out and realizes that if the rest of the pack is going to be suffering and mourning like this, he probably needs to do double time, because he has the mental bandwidth to assist the cairn in this moment.
Dreams are a very peculiar thing. They can be wonderful. We can fly, we can accomplish things that we could only hope, we can have ambitions, we can picture a future. They can also become quite terrible when they turn to nightmares. The good thing about it is, because they're dreams, we can escape them. Turn to the waking world. But when the nightmares are in that waking world, the escapes are only temporary. The reality lasts and lingers. Unfortunately, in the society of Guru, they encounter a great many nightmares in the waking world. It's how they respond to those nightmares, deal with those nightmares, protect others from them. That defines who they are and if they're even capable of this life. With that, we move on to our next scene, where a guru who has encountered many nightmares works with another whose journey into nightmares has only just begun. Izzy, you have encountered the new arrivals in the form of the fellow children of Gaia before. You even had a small clan or tribe moot where all of you got together and were able to discuss Terrence, Quinn, Willow, and yourself. Now, you are taking the time to get to know them individually. Now, you've had time with Terrence to the point that he's basically a roommate with you now, and the two of you have bonded a great deal. But now it's time for the young lupus born, known as Willow Wisp, who has a great many curiosities, even more quirks, but also a troubled history of her own. So as you have gathered at the cairn, the safest meeting space, the grass is lush and soft rather than the hard-packed sand and weeds that were there before. The rocky outcropping that is Turtle, ever watchful, but also a feeling of stability, feeling of protection, that calm that you felt before has now moved to a sense of security and safety when you enter into this place. The temperate air has become blissfully so, completely sucking all of the humidity away and making it just enjoyable and relaxing. So even when bad news makes its way in, it has a softer landing than it would have previously. This is where you meet. The sun dappling its way through the very rich and full leaves in the trees. The smell of pine needles on the air having fallen from the trees over the winter to only be regrown over time. The scene is yours.
I think Izzy is the one to beckon Willow to this exchange. And as any good elder, he is there first, ready and waiting, although not in so mocking of a stark and imperious tone as he gave off for his first joke with his fellow children of Gaia. Instead, he is in his more natural stance, maybe leaning against one of the rocks, just eyeing the surrounding nature of the cairn with a bit of a sigh, and wholly unaware should Willow decide to play any sort of tricks to sneak up on him.
Willow, how do you approach?
When a offer like that is presented to me on a silver platter, I have no choice but to ever stealthily creep around a large turtle-shaped rock. I am semi-unaware from where it came from, but it's here now and everything's better. And just sort of creep around and just sort of throw rocks at him until he turns around and then duck behind, and do that a few more times until I can pop out properly.
Give me a dexterity and stealth check, Izzy, wits and awareness, to see if he goes along with it or if he's completely caught off guard, at least with the first attempt.
Rage is 1.
1.
1. Goose egg.
Okay, so with 5 successes.
In fact, a botch.
Okay. So with 5 successes, Willow, you are able to catch Izzy completely unaware. And as you toss the first rock, I'm not even going to make you make a roll for it because the difficulty would literally be 1. So if you were to take half on your dex and dex and athletics, what would that be?
If I were to take half, that's 3.
Okay. So not a sizable rock, I would assume, because you're not looking to cause any harm. But as a pebble strikes you, Izzy, with your botch, with your... Well, did you get 2 1s or did you just get a single one?
Is it 1 or 2 or so? Yeah, I got 2 2s.
Okay. So with that, your rage is going to spike to a 3 as you are surprisingly irritated by this. It doesn't feel playful. It doesn't feel joyful. Maybe it was that whole uncomfortable experience of being in the dreaming. Maybe it was after all of the bad news you received upon your return. Maybe it's empathizing with Forged as a fellow Arun having to lose someone. But you feel your anger spike, and as you turn around to face whatever's responsible for it, they aren't there.
Izzy feels that vein sort of set in his brow, his rather sort of placid expression curls back into that grin, a lot of teeth, as he goes, "Unless Turtle is having a moment to tease one of his saviors, I suggest whoever threw that, get out here, okay?"
I'm gonna test my luck. I'm throwing another rock.
Okay, give me a opposing dexterity and athletics checks.
Actually, yeah, 2.
Okay. As another rock strikes you, Izzy, I'd like you to make a composure and resolve check.
Okay. It's a crit 4 or 5.
Okay. When you recognize the playful game that's afoot, and you recognize the source of that game, you are able to take a deep, steadying breath, pushing that rage down, recognizing that this is play. It's not meant to embarrass or upset. It's meant to engage. And this is where Unicorn's influence, the influence of being a child of Gaia, takes hold. And the last thing you want to do is stamp out someone's moment of joy, someone's moment of merriment. You want to, if nothing else, encourage moments like this to exist because there's so much hardship. There's so much difficulty in this life. And what is a mentor if not encouraging more than severe? You had a severe-ish mentor and ally in Charles, and look what happened from that. So taking a different approach, that rage drops down to a 2 as you are able to calm it a little bit more, recognizing it's a game, recognizing it's not some kind of threat to be dealt with.
Izzy feels that sort of gentle trotting of unicorn through his brain as he feels a bit of the rage. Exhale with a breath as he looks back over to the rock from where, pebbles have been flying out as he goes, it is of the sort of game where if I find you and you keep throwing rocks, I get to throw you like I throw rocks.
Willow fully stops and is like, he can't throw me. Can he throw me? Oh, can he throw me? Yeah. And I will then just sort of circle around, just like, I got you. I got you a few times. I did a good job.
Izzy, upon seeing Willow go, Willow Wisp, I didn't even know you were there.
Fantastic. Good. Then I win. And I'm the best hider. And I keep telling everybody that. And they keep not believing me. And I don't get why they keep thinking that. Because I am an incredibly good hider. And I am so good at... I'm a better Ragabash than Quinn, I think, to be quite honest.
Oh.
He's been a lot lately. And I'm not a fan of what's going on over there. But that's his whole thing. And he can figure it out. Because I'm done with that. But we're not here about that. We're here about you. And
Oh,
you
we're
said I
not
should
here
be
about that.
No, we're not here about that.
Okay,
Why would we be
okay.
here about that? That's boring and lame, and I don't want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
But you said I should be here. I am here. I have manifested in front of you.
Uh-huh.
What do you need of me, O Elder?
Well, I was kind of hoping we would throw rocks at each other, but it appears that that game's already over. So I'm open to other things. Maybe we can discuss what's going on with Quinn.
The Elder thing. Everybody does that. They're like, no, you said a thing, and now you got to talk about it. It's like, I don't want to talk about it all the time. It's depressing.
Okay.
No. It's tribe stuff. I gotta talk about it. If I can't talk about it with you, I can't talk about it with anyone, really.
I mean, you could talk about it with other people. You don't have to talk about it with me. It's just you need to decide whether or not I'm someone worth talking about with.
If I can't talk to tribe, who can I talk? I mean, I could talk to Delphine about it, but Delphine's not. She's got a lot of other stuff to deal with, and I don't want to make. And I tried talking to Eliza about it, and she keeps being like, "You must be patient and vulnerable and do your chores." I'm like, "That's great, but that doesn't make him less of a butt." He tried to apologize, but it's a whole thing. Speaking, so that's thick. She said to be vulnerable, and then Ember said to be vulnerable, so I was vulnerable, and I told him he was doing a thing that everyone says he was doing that I was not a fan of. And then he got mad at me. And that's stupid because I was just voicing a thing that made me feel icky. And I should have been respected for that. But then he got his undies in a twist and had to be upset about it. So, and then I talked to Stakes. And Stakes was like, you let people treat you like a puppy. I'm like, no, I don't. Not intentionally. I'm just used to getting, zapped and mistreated for it. So I'm learning to get my bite back. And that's hard to do when you've been repeatedly shown that that's a bad thing to do. So I bit back, and now Quinn has apologized, but something is still off, and it bugs me. And I don't like that it bugs me, because that's a humanish, emotion-y thing, and I'm not... It's icky. I don't like it. Cause fuck all those stupid human emotions and shit. Fuck it. Fuck all that bullshit.
Yeah, they suck.
They do. And I'm like, this was not an issue. Sure, I was contained and suffering and stuff, but I didn't have to deal with all of the feelings-ish things as much. So, but yeah, that's the whole thing. Quinn just being a butt.
Yeah. As Izzy just hears Willow unload, he is so used to these kinds of conversations where he has to like build a bridge or coax and try to like tug something out, but having a fellow tribe mate just go, "These are my problems," just puts a smile on his face as he nods and tries to pick where he can to express sympathy or concern and go, "Well, it's nice that Quinn has decided to apologize to you. Do you feel like you are ready to forgive him?"
I hadn't thought about that. I sort of
Something
said,
to
like,
think about.
I said just because it's like, it's like when people are like, you should accept his apology. It'd
Oh, a
be
lot of
rude
people are
not
going to say
to."
you should do a lot of things.
And
but
it's like, which
in
things
this
am I
case-
supposed to do? Because everyone says different things.
Mhm.
And how am I supposed to keep track of all the things?
I don't know. Gaia made it hard for a reason.
Like, for why though? It's like not helpful. It's just complicating things for like no reason. And I think it's dumb. But with that said,
Hmm.
I don't know if I fully forgive him because like I've just tried to be like really nice and cooperative and stuff. And
Uni-
I feel like that's not been reciprocated where that's concerned.
So you feel like maybe Quinn hasn't been as forthright in his apology? Just saying the words doesn't do it for you?
Yeah.
Hmm.
'Cause
Did
he
you
avoided
tell
me
him
for
that?
a week straight. He avoided me for a week straight when we've been together like forever and stuff.
Hmm.
No, I didn't tell him that because like why? Because it's like I was thinking, but like it's not like lying because it's like I want to forgive him, but like there's just something like in the back of my head that's like itchy about it, and I don't like how itchy it is. It's not fleas. I checked. It's not that. But
I
it
wasn't
is
going to
itchy.
say that.
I could see it in your brain. You were thinking it because everyone else has asked me that when I've been scratching at the back of my head lately. So
Don't worry. When I get nervous, I scratch at my chin. I scratch at my arms. I don't have fleas there either.
yeah, but like you're not
I'm not.
you're not like Stakes and me, which like
That is true.
you fit a lot more than like Quinn does where that's concerned. Everyone just looks at me like they expect me to be a certain way, and I'm sick of it, and I'm done with that. So we're not gonna do that anymore. And if people decide they want to look at me weird, they can do that, and I don't give a shit anymore. I ain't people pleasing. So yeah.
I'm sure Unicorn is very happy with this.
I haven't thought about that. Oh no, what if Unicorn is upset? Oh no.
What if Unicorn is upset? What would you do?
Oh no. That'd be bad news bears. That'd be very bad. That'd be no good. I have no money. How do I buy Cool Ranch Doritos? Do I steal Cool Ranch Doritos? Is that bad?
Do not
I could
steal Cool Ranch Doritos. Do not feed her habit, okay?
But she likes them. Who am I of all of her chosen to not give her what she needs and requires?
She does not require it nor need it. It is
She-
just a nice treat that she should enjoy sparingly, and that your presence and the knowledge and warmth you bring to the conversation with Unicorn is enough. Don't let her tell you otherwise, okay?
You speak like you know Unicorn better than Unicorn knows Unicorn. What's that about?
Well, one of the elder secrets I was taught as a big child of Gaia is that unicorn is all of us together. And so if I know what I want and I know what unicorn wants, we can work something out. Now, what I want is for unicorn to be strong, to be vibrant, to lead us to peace. And I also know that unicorn is so strangely attracted to chips. And one of those things is not like the other.
And brown sugar Pop-Tarts, because those are the best.
We can
that's
stop
just-
talking about unicorn now, I think.
But that's just because I really like brown sugar Pop-Tarts, because they are the
Ah.
best.
Well, maybe you can bring those to unicorn. Maybe she'll like what you like.
Again, there's the issue of I has no monies, and I cannot get monies because that would require job things. And every time Delphine mentions job, Forge turns a shade of red. That's not good. So clearly,
Why
I
do you
should
think he does that, huh?
not.
I don't know this Forged. You tell me what he's like. Why would he?
Forged is an asshole. And I say that. Oh, yeah. I say that because, like, when we first met, and I was not allowed to say naughty words because Quinn did not want me having vulgar language. Everyone said I should get to say the naughty words because I should get to say them because they're words. Why are they bad? That doesn't make sense to me. So I called him an asshole, and he got weird about it, but sort of in that way where it's like a challenge. And I love a challenge. So I kept going, and then everyone started standing.
I just want to double check. You're not a Ragabash, right?
No.
Okay. Do you know what Ragabashes do?
They are assholes.
Yes. They poke fun at things that are certain.
Yes.
And they get a lot of leeway for that. Galliards
don't.
Not
which
so
is
much.
stupid.
How did Forged react to your comment?
Everyone started standing in front of me like I was baby and that I needed protection. And then he backed off because that was not something he wanted to engage with, apparently. And then I did it again when he came back and we were all at the almost new cairn that we're gonna build, and it's gonna be so cool. And what did I say? I said, shove it, you asshole, shut the fuck up, don't try me, or something to that effect. And he turned a shade of pink that was awesome, and I felt so good to stick it to somebody. Finally, Stakes and I had a fantastic conversation before that I need to bite back more. So I'm biting back more when someone is rude. He said that I couldn't shit by myself in the woods. And so I had to tell him to shut the fuck up.
End of story.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. As Willow sort of finishes this interaction with Forged, he goes for a moment to a pretty dark series of memories of the old nation and the sorts of honor culture responses that usually come from someone being uppity, especially against people who are assumed to be their superiors. Blood and claws and crying. And as he sees Willow here still piping and, that much of a braggart, he nods and goes, "It sounds like your pack loves you a lot to keep you safe in that moment."
I mean, I don't know about that. I know Delphine likes me. And I know Quinn technically likes me. And Stakes likes me. But I don't know Ray. Which I've been trying to snoop. But he's really good at hiding. And I...
Do children of unicorns snoop?
Of course we do. Why wouldn't we?
Well, did you try talking with him?
I mean, it's weird. He smells really bad. And it's like icky. Cause like he was leader. That's what Stake said when Quinn and I came down here, was that he was leader. And then he wasn't leader. And I still don't know what happened. And I wanna know, but also I shouldn't pry because that's rude. But also,
Who said that?
Quinn.
Quinn said that.
Yeah.
A fellow child of Gaia said that discerning, discovering, and healing was rude.
It's because it's personal stuff. He said that like right after we came down, and I was like, what is that about? Because I asked like the whole group and everyone just looked really sad.
Mm-hmm.
So I was told not to do that again. So I've just been sort of lurking around because it's fun to lurk and I like lurking. And then Juniper's gone, which sucks because I really liked her.
Yeah,
I only got to talk
heard.
with her once, and she was super nice. Except she thinks or thought, I don't. The verbiage, talking words is hard about that stuff with the tenses. Delphine's been helping me with the tenses. It's hard to do and remember.
Yeah, we have to go to school for it.
Icky.
Yep.
Icky. But
I just want to say I'm sorry to hear about your packmate.
I mean, I only got to meet her like once, and then she immediately thought Quinn had like done something weird with me, like taken me or something.
Oh yeah.
And apparently was stalking him around the house that they all share and stuff.
Okay.
It was, and I really
Not a
wish
lot of
I'd
place to
gotten-
hide in a single house, right?
No, so I don't know how that works. I haven't really seen it yet. But I wish I had gotten to know her more, you know?
Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of instances like that. Just know that the people in your pack now, they had a lot of time with Juniper, I'll bet. And if you want to learn about her, you need to talk with them.
Yes, I have been. And I've been, pulls out like this little notebook and it's like, I've been putting together the eulogy.
Eulogy.
Yes, that word. Because I was told that as the Galliard, I should have the honor of saying some words, even though I did not know her really at all. But I have been writing notes, and I have words written, and I'm going to do a howl because Stakes is like, you haven't been wolfing, and I need to be wolfing. So clearly what I need to do is do a howl portion as well as the talking portion. So everyone gets their share. Everyone feels represented.
Oh.
So.
And with that, Izzy furrows his brow, hearing the sort of, coming event that Willow is apparently going to be a key member for, and thinking on exactly what she might need in this moment, he goes, as a lupus, how do I put this? I've known lupuses that have had very unique ways of singing, sometimes howls and sometimes other things with words and stuff, right? Is that how do you normally recall your songs?
I haven't. I'm still trying to
like not
figure...
a one?
I don't have many. I haven't gotten like a big history lesson yet.
Well, do you know your history?
Well, I know my history, but like it's
okay.
not what
Have you sung it?
About. No, of course not. Why would I sing something so dour and so sad? No, boring, icky. No. No. Maybe
Izzy will reach an arm out and for the first time actually touch Willow on the shoulder.
Willow sort of just stares at it and is just like, why are you touching my shoulder? You're touching me? Why?
Yes, I am. I know, and this is true for the lupus that have been in my packs. They don't like being touched.
Mm-mm.
But this is a thing that a lot of the Hamids, like myself, and definitely like your pack, I'm going to guarantee you, like to do when things are difficult. And this is a show of support, yeah?
Uh-huh. Okay. I'm good. So I'm just, and he's just like peels your hand
Yeah,
off.
he'll remove it. He'll remove it, no problem.
I don't need that. I don't like the fizz. No, thank
Okay.
you. I'm good.
I will
Thank you,
remember
though.
that. I will remember that, Willow.
I get the gesturing bit. That I get that. That's important, and I appreciate that.
Mhm.
But no touchy. No. This is no touching zone. Thank you. What was I
Okay.
saying? I was saying something important.
Well-
Oh yeah. The eulogy. So I'm still trying. I've written words that I have been told are words, and I made sure that I actually wrote them out like with letters and stuff this time and not just scribbles, as Delphine has reminded me to do with my learning. So I have like a couple of things, and then I'm still trying to figure out the howling portion, because I want Stakes to have a bit, because apparently Juniper and Stakes were very close, and Stakes is very good, so she deserves to get her respect by getting a good howl. So that is what I'm trying to figure out how I want it to sound, though, because it's weird thinking about it, because it used to be just like normal for me to do before everything happened, and it's been so long I haven't gotten to. So we're figuring that out.
Okay. Well, I'm no Galliard. In fact, I kind of suck at all the songs. But,
Yeah.
Oh, you know, huh?
No, it's just like this. It's like it's. I'm gonna talk to Jester about it soonish. I think. I hope.
That's a good impulse.
I haven't really gotten to talk to another Galliard like at all, so I don't know how to do. I could be doing all of this horrifically wrong, but I'm gonna do my best, and that's all that fucking matters.
That is all that matters. And I think, Willow, that you should trust your instincts a bit more. You don't need to be finding some perfect meat or anything. You just need to find where you're at first, right?
Mhm.
And Izzy will think back to Summer Song, one of his Galliards for the Piercing Moonrise pack, and the sort of tragedy of her life. Her descent into Hirano, the death of her pack, her final song, how it still mires his nightmares before he turns to look back at Willow, who is so full and bright of life. Just know where you're singing from first before you start singing for others, yeah?
Yeah. No, I know, because I talked to Ember about it, and Ember says that I am a light and should show it proudly to everyone. So that is what I'm attempting to do, even though this is supposed to be a song of sad and of mourning.
Well, you know, fires do cast shadows.
They do, but
Unicorn
that does not
has a dark
mean-
side.
That does not mean. Wait, what?
Yeah. Black unicorn.
What?
You know
mentioned
unicorn,
this.
right?
You mentioned this, and then
I
you
did,
said you were going to
yes.
give me information. You have not given me information. You need to give me the thinky thoughts that are good, because I need to know all of this information right now.
Well, I think for the most part we've addressed our opening salvo. Good to hear from you, Willow. Now we move on to the part of the training where I get to be very mean to you.
have I done?
Oh, you've done nothing. You're a warrior of Gaia, and you need to figure out exactly what it is to bare those teeth and throw those punches, right?
I mean, I haven't really gotten to like test my metal with anyone or with
You threw
anyone.
rocks at me, no problem. I mean, rocks came from somewhere. And you
Yes,
appeared.
definitely not multicolored painted rocks that I definitely had in my pocket already. I definitely didn't have those, and those are not what those are. Do not look at the rocks, and we'll sort of kick the rocks out of the way.
It'll be a mystery that not even Unicorn can solve, I'm sure of it. But yeah. And at that, Izzy will begin looking around and seeing sort of the array of pebbles and stones, begin picking up a couple and stacking them into little, towers every so often as he goes. So, Willow, I know Quinn saved you, and he was a child of Gaia, but what made you choose Unicorn? What drew you to her?
Choose?
Mm-hmm.
There no choose. There was no choosing. Was there supposed to be choosing? There was no choosing.
How were you inducted into the tribe?
Well, mostly in the running away portion of that night, she sort of found me amidst the screaming and the pelting with little sharp things and the loud noises and the blood and the gore and the everything else, and gave me this, and they will motion to the black choker they've been wearing the entire time, and told me it was a shadow shard, and that if I ever needed it, I could use it one time with her favor, and that I was one of her chosen. So, yeah.
Izzy will nod, knowing that it's not entirely uncommon to have the patron choose. However, seeing this mixed introspection from Willow, he will go, well, it's nice that Unicorn decided to help you like that and even give you a little boon to boot. But do you want to follow Unicorn? Unicorn's not a thing where she demands things of you and you just sort of give idly in return. We are a tribe that needs to dig deep for reasoning. We are a tribe, unlike basically all the others, that is born of love and compassion. And before you can love anything else, you have to love yourself. All right?
Of course I love myself. I'm fantastic. Have you met me? I'm great.
Hey, you're basically a child of Unicorn already on that.
But, like, are the other tribes not like that?
Izzy will grow a bit dark as he tries to recall all the tedious details of the Impergium and stuff as he goes. How much of Garu history has Quinn or anyone taught you, Willow?
I remember the Triad. Triad's important.
Triad is very important.
Yes. And I remember that the nation has the litany, and I remember the litany. I have it written
Litany
down.
is very important.
Very important for remembering the rules. The rules are important, and we must abide by them most of the time. Other things, no. No, that's it. That's all of the. Quinn wanted me to learn human stuff because he didn't think I would be good at the human stuff, and I think I'm pretty good at human stuff, so he can shove it.
Well, you're
but-
not here to learn human stuff today. You're here to learn Garu stuff.
Yes.
So there was a time, long time ago, where the Garu, our ancestors, our forebears, decided that the best way to preserve Gaia would be to kill Gaia's creations, to kill humans. And I've heard different Galliards spin different tales. Some say it lasted generations or thousands of years, turnings of Helios, a lot of poetic stuff, but it lasted a long time. And this was before the tribes as we knew it. And one of the biggest opposers was what would become the children of Gaia. Because we are all Gaia's children.
Mm-hmm.
And for each of the tribes that sought to combat the worm with tooth and claw, with might and knowledge, we sought to bring all under Gaia together to fight the worm. And that is why we are the only tribe that gets to say we were born out of love.
Yeah.
We did eventually stop the Impergium, but that's the reason why when humans look at us, when humans see us in our war form, they get a little kooky.
Oh, the veil part. That's the veil.
The delirium. but-
Delirium. Okay.
yes.
Delirium. Okay.
Mhm.
Delirium. Weird word.
And-
Big word.
It is a big word.
Mm.
And as a result, it's not uncommon, as I've heard from you and Quinn, for other tribes to demean us. I'm certain you've heard maybe one or two other Garu spit upon us as, hippies or peace, whatever, we're with no backbone, no tooth and claw, all weak. Any of that?
Is that what Forged was getting at?
What did he say about the children of Gaia?
He didn't. No, he didn't. But specifically, like me, because he's been. He when we first met, he had a problem with us, and then he made that comment about me not being able to shit by myself in the woods, and it's like, is that what he meant? Cause I'm a lupus born. Of course I'm gonna be able to shit in the fucking woods by myself. Like, holy shit, asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't beat him up. He's on a rune. That's not fair.
Well, there are different ways to beat a runes if you know how to do it.
Tell me secrets.
Well, do you remember what I said when I was telling you about how Galliards do as they do? What I said about myself?
You don't sing good.
So if he gets angry at you and challenges you, what's something you would say you would be able to beat him at?
Ooh. Yeah. Howling contest. Howling contest.
I,
Howling
as a mighty
contest.
Arun, would be powerless against such a contest. Izzy will nod, seeing the seeds he's laying for Willow to have a bit more of a backbone. And as he watches her begin to scheme, he'll try to sort of wrangle her in again and go, to smooth this out again. because
Oh.
I did bring you here for a very particular reason.
Oh,
You asked me about Black Unicorn,
yes.
and I brought up all this history about the children of Gaia to say that Unicorn has two sides. There's the side that you've no doubt seen as she gallops through the umbra or makes herself known in the tree line.
Mhm.
The wonder, a color, the brightness of hope, and to heal a future, tomorrow, together, words, words, words. And at this, Izzy will stand next to one of the rock piles he made. We're going to do something nerds I've seen do, which is roleplay. He will tap a finger on one of the rock piles and go, let's say this is Quinn. You like
Okay.
Quinn, right?
Blah, but yeah, but blah.
You wouldn't want to see Quinn hurt, would you?
No. As much as
No.
he's bud, he doesn't deserve to be hurt.
Of course not. And let's say I'm a leech. I hate everything. I want to eat Gaia.
They just want to eat Gaia?
Yeah?
How can you eat Gaia? Gaia's like.
I don't know. They just suck and they never die.
Okay. Say more words.
Okay. I'm a leech. This is Quinn. You're following me.
Mhm.
Well, Gaia says we need to make rapport, right? I have my finger on Quinn's head, and I'm going to kill him. What are you going to do about it, Willow?
Willow will go back around to the other side of the rock where they had left their bow staff that they've been carrying with them. And then we'll come back around to the front side of the rock. And we'll level it in Izzy's face.
Whoa, whoa,
No.
whoa.
No.
I thought you were a child of unicorn. You're not going to chat with me? Try to entreat with me?
If you threaten Tri-Band Pack, no.
What is
Maybe
this?
one or
I
the
don't
other.
remember a unicorn saying anything about this.
But it's like we gotta combat the worm. And if they are pieces of the worm, then we must combat them.
Now you know about Black Unicorn. In order to heal, in order to unearth secrets, make amends, bring together for unity, you need to know what can and cannot be a part of that system. And so for Unicorn's brightness, that hope, she has a side of her that is stark, focused, and ever waving in her devotion to ensure that Gaia and all her children, you, me, every human, every animal, is protected from those who would seek to unravel that piece.
Okay, that makes sense. But why do we call her Black Unicorn?
Because when you see Black Unicorn gallop towards you, his darkened mane billowing in the umbra, it is one that strikes fear into even the most devilish worm spawn. Never underestimate what peace and understanding means for your character. You are not driven by emotion. You are not driven by rage. You are driven by hope. And those who threaten hope are about to face a beast worse than anything. You are strong, Willow. And your compassion makes you so.
I sort of stand back for a moment, just sort of like, oh, that. Why does that make me feel emotions? What is that? Yes, obviously, yes, of course, yes, good,
Okay.
yes.
So I'm about to kill Quinn here. What are you going to do to stop me?
I'm gonna try the tripping maneuver. Terrence, stop me. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Okay, give me
I would
a.
like-
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I would like to try and just catch the stick
Okay,
with
Yeah.
the hand.
give me a strength and melee versus a. Let's go strength and athletics.
And can I use my specialty bow staff?
You sure can.
Yay! More dice. That's a botch.
3.
Okay. So as you go to swing the staff, Izzy, it's no issue whatsoever. You catch it no problem. In fact, Willow, you are going to slip on some of the rocks and pebbles and dirt around the base of this gigantic boulder, and you are going to base plant into the ground, taking 1 point of superficial damage and also 1 point of superficial willpower damage for the embarrassment of it. Your rage is going to go up by 1.
Willow is going to sort of immediately pop back up and just sort of brush themselves and just rub the place where it's now sore on their scarred face.
Well, don't lick your wounds too hard. I'm about to knock this rock over. And with that, he will gingerly begin shifting the top rock off the tower. Come on.
Shit.
I need you to hit me.
And hit him I shall. We're dropping the stick. You know what? No, this is when we are personnel now. I am embarrassed now. No, I'm punching you now.
All right, so strength and brawl. Are you deflecting? What's your plan here, Izzy?
Izzy is going to just see how hard she's gonna hit. So he is going to try to just accept the blow.
Okay.
3 successes.
All right. So Izzy, take 1 point of superficial damage, as that's halved, as you get punched very directly.
Mhm.
I wouldn't even say hard, just directly.
Boom. He will ham it up because he remembers one thing from his time with his lupus companions, and that is a strange way that wolves play to encourage aggression, where whoever gets hit has to make a big show of, oh no, I'm wounded. And as he sort of blossoms back, he will remove his finger and go, oh, no. Ah, a leech unable to feast upon your loved ones. What am I going to do?
Willow, roll me a wisdom and occult.
Oh, okay. Using that 1 dot I have in occult. Okay. 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 2 successes.
As you are kind of getting a little bit of merriment out of this moment, you feel a heavy puff upon your shoulder. And as you look out of your peripheral, a massive black unicorn is over your shoulder, staring directly at Izzy. And you hear it almost as if it's echoing in your mind, in your ear. Don't stop. Roll me a composure and resolve.
Yep. 100%. My 2 worst skills. Fantastic. This will surely go well. Okay, you know what? I spoke it into existence. Yeah, that's 3 successes. Fuck yeah.
Okay. You can feel its presence pushing you onward, trying to stoke the fire inside of you to continue with this exercise, to push forward, to try harder, to vanquish. He is hamming it up for you. But that's almost like mocking you. That's unacceptable. If he truly were a leech, if he truly were threatening Quinn, you wouldn't take joy and merriment out of this exercise. You would fight tooth and claw. Because you succeeded on your composure and resolve check, your rage doesn't go up and you are not forced into Krynos. But you can choose.
I will say, Izzy, as Willow begins beating on him, his grin grows wider and wider as he finally comes to the reason why he brought Willow here, which is to train, to fight.
And I think it's sort of that reflexive thing of like, okay, I can feel that stop, but I can't feel myself stop from changing into lupus.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to go lupus.
Okay. So as you drop down to all fours, your senses growing a little bit sharper, that comfort, almost like that safety blanket wrapping around you, as this is your natural state. This is when you feel most at home, most in yourself, but also there's a certain feralness that comes with it, a certain natural state of being, and your instincts here are now saying fight or flight. Because this is a much larger being in front of you. You've got unicorn behind you, black unicorn behind you, egging you onward. You have a choice.
If unicorn wills it, who am I to say no?
Okay, so you are in lupus form. So you could potentially do either dex or strength and brawl to continue onward.
Dex, please.
Okay, so make me a dex and brawl check.
Yay.
Seeing Willow assume lupus form, Izzy wasn't entirely certain what form of training this might take, but he will attempt to match her in this moment and will rapid shift into lupus form.
Okay. I won't even make you roll for it. The shift is pretty seamless for the most part, so you drop down onto all fours as well. And you can make either a strength and brawl, a dex and brawl, or a dex and athletics, depending on how you wish to respond to this.
What is my rage currently at? Because I've technically taken damage.
Yeah, I would say you're at 3 now.
Okay.
That is a crit with total, if I'm doing my math right, 4 successes?
So you just got the 2 10s,
Yes.
basically? Yeah, so 4 successes. Yep.
And I also got 1 extra.
So 5 successes.
5 successes, okay.
Yep, because the 2 explode into 4.
Gotcha.
Just because I'm not going to be using willpower for much else, you can use willpower rerolls on, like, brawl attacks, right?
Yeah. You can use it, but it only applies to regular dice, not rage dice. But yeah, you can use it on brawl attacks easily.
And that is what I shall do.
Well, you guys would be screwed if you couldn't. That would suck.
Well, that didn't change anything, but that is 3 successes, so 1 short.
Okay. So as she pounces, you actually get bowled over in the process as she... Are you using teeth or claws?
Claws are easier to fix than bite marks are.
Okay, so as she punches, plunges forward into you, her claws rake down your side, doing another 1 point of superficial damage already halved as she pushes you over and onto the ground, the two of you rolling backwards.
Mm-hmm. He will just start the combat training as best he can. I know he technically has like the bigger die pool, I think. So he will go until he feels like they're tired or he feels satisfied that she has the ability to bare her teeth, as she herself said she has had issues with.
So what's your total stamina pool, Willow?
Oh god.
Like just total dice and stamina.
Stamina is 2.
Okay, roll me a stamina and brawl. This will tell me how long the training goes before you are exhausted.
2 successes.
Okay, so you can go for about 5 to 10 minutes at most of intense back and forth before eventually the exhaustion starts to take over. You feeling yourself starting to pant and lose a lot of the steam that's driving you. And as you look around, Black Unicorn has disappeared, seemingly satisfied by this affair.
And she sort of will stop and pant for a while. It's like clearly hasn't done that in a bit with that much passion. And then remember, oh yeah, they like the other shape. And then sort of switch back to Hamid. And just sort of lay splayed out all over the ground.
Izzy, who is still in lupus, watches as she shifts back and probably taking more wounds that he intended, will shift basically into Glabro and begin the process of just using the excess rage to regenerate.
Sure.
As he goes. Good job, Willow.
Been a bit since I've gone that big.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot. Is that, you do that like all the time? Like, how do you keep all the energy?
I was built for it, I guess.
The Lady Luna provides as well as Gaia.
Mm-hmm. You did a good job, Willow. I'm proud.
Really, really?
Do I look like Quinn? Would I be lying to you?
He would, and he has, and he probably will again. But yeah, that's like Terrence is all in his head about it, kind of when especially like making sure I stay in Hamid and use the stick. And
Mm-hmm. In fact, he's probably gonna be giving you a lot of advice that is going to be more applicable than what I give. But there will be times, and they will come, when we're going to be fighting things that are going to be very terrifying. It's going to be out of the way of humans, and you are going to need to know when to let loose and fight without hurting yourself or your packmates. Okay?
Okay. I do like this better, though. I think...
Yeah. It's pretty great.
Think you did a funner job, for sure, than either Charles or Terrence's husband. Terrence needs to loosen up a little bit, but that's just me.
Izzy tries to hide the smile, but his pride is just higher than a mountain right now.
So as the two of you enjoy the sun, soft earth, the quiet, the bond grows even stronger between you. Willow, you feel a bond to Izzy, but also you feel a bond to being a guru. What it means to be a guru, that it's not just about songs, it's not just about nature, not just about fun. There is a dark side to all guru. And while dark can seem scary, what is light without it? Laying there, panting, healing, resting. as both of you kind of check yourselves for any lasting wounds, eventually you hit a point where either you hit a pants pocket or a hoodie pocket, and you hear a crinkle that wasn't there before. And reaching into the pocket, you find a small bag of Cool Ranch Doritos waiting for you as a snack.
Best
Spirits can be benevolent. They can be judgmental. They can be tricky. But patrons provide. And this is where we transition to our final scene of the first half of tonight's story, where a mourning guru seeks the guidance of a patron. Jester, as you sit in the cairn, what's the last few days been like for you that has led you here, as it's been about 3 days at this point since you've heard of what happened to Juniper? Now, Charles has been ever vigilant of a caretaker, being there to hold you when you needed holding, being there to provide whatever you need, whether it's a meal that you might refuse to eat at first, or just a patient ear.
I think at this point it hasn't been a whole lot of staying in the house or anything like that. I am sad and I'm trying to understand, but I'm not. I still feel things need to go on. We need to keep working on things. And it's been more of a quiet personal processing than anything out loud or things like that. I end up coming to the stream where Juniper and I found the rock that we used as the hearthstone for our bridge. And I'm kind of just there tossing pebbles into the stream, taking a moment just to think.
As you're recounting as many of the events as possible that brought you here, most of them having to do with Juniper, finding out that there were new guru coming to Florida, finding that first meeting with the Hellhounds to be memorable, to say the very least, learning of your connection, attempting time after time to try and build that connection, but finding it difficult. And understandably so, when you've lived your whole life thinking one thing and only to discover another, that takes adjustment. Almost like the adjustment of your first change, almost the adjustment of learning what it is to be guru. And then you start to think of the missed opportunities, what could have been, what's been taken from you, from both of you, really. Because yes, some could say that Guru are one big family, but when you find out that you have blood family as well within that, that's another step beyond. You've always had a complicated relationship with family. You're adopted after all. And as you're thinking on all of this, you think back to Star's challenge to you, task for you. 3 individuals in need of help. One of them being your adopted mother, who you've still been avoiding direct contact with, and another being Juniper. did you really help her? Did you really succeed in bringing her into Star's light? Did you even get the chance? And then you see in the water of the stream in front of you a bright reflection glow. And then next to you, knelt by the stream, is your pack patron, Star. Her glow is a little bit dimmer, so as not to be blinding, but also clearly in a place of empathy to all the things that you're feeling. Not trying to outdo the sadness of the moment, but stars can't help what they are. Lights. And that's when she says,
Hi, Jester.
Hey, Bright Eyes.
You're sad.
Yeah.
I understand why you're sad. Losing someone you care about is always difficult. But
It is.
she's okay. He's with her parents again.
I feel like I failed you. And her.
she cocks her head to the side confusedly. Go ahead.
I tried to get her space to, I don't know, reach out, make more of a connection, but maybe I should have pushed harder.
You think that if you crushed the coal, you'd find a diamond.
I don't know. Maybe if I don't know, maybe she'd still be here.
She wouldn't. And you didn't fail. Malicious Jester. She died a hero. She sacrificed in a way she wouldn't have before. You should be proud of your sister and of yourself.
Yeah, I heard she died fighting 3 Black Spiral Dancers to save Forged and his kid.
There's more to it than that.
I don't think even Forged knew what happened. So,
And he was dead.
it will take a few seconds for that to process and roll around in her head before she... Wait, what? What do you mean? he
Worse
was
from
dead?
failures died in that fight. Until Juniper traded her life for his.
Wow.
In doing so, she gained the strength to overcome the threat. But she had to die to do so. She put aside any selfishness, any fury, any chance of a future. Save that child and his father. Because she knew what it was to lose family. And she wasn't going to let that happen to anyone else.
Family was always important to her.
Yes. It still is.
She's happy.
Yes.
Good.
So should you be. Because once where there was darkness, now there is light. In her. When she first changed, she gave up on the idea of living. She gave up on the idea of connection, of family. And here she dies, a hero, deserving family. What little influence you think you have matters a lot more than you know.
Then I am happy. I'm happy for her.
Loss is painful. These to get caught up in the never-ending hole it creates in us. But it takes loss to appreciate what we have. I've watched stars burn out, fade into the nothing, the void of the sky. But I've also seen them born. The most magnificent explosion of light and color. It's part of the cycle. Don't forget who. That will keep her memory alive, and her sacrifice not forgotten.
I'm a Galliard star. It's kind of my thing to remember and to make others remember.
So remember this. This isn't a story of failure. It's a story of love.
Kind of redemption from what you're saying, from what it sounds like.
Absolutely redemption. Besides, there is another.
Okay.
And they're a lot closer than you think.
Is another person I'm supposed to help? Or could help, or have the opportunity to help?
Star gets this mischievous little grin on her face.
Another sibling.
What?
She just shrugs.
No, we can't. You can't be a mysterious spirit on that. What do you mean, another sibling?
It's out and none. You need help? Look out, you're in there.
No, you are not leaving yet. You're not going to tell me, are you?
Like I said, when one light goes out, another is born.
Don't give up hope. You still have a lot of work to do.
Speaking of that, I have a question. Stare up at the sky for a moment. Do you know, or would you know a spirit that knows how to heal the king?
Oh. There are ways. You know one.
The stars, or the tears?
Yes. But that's not the only way. Bring one back from the dark. You need to remind them that there is light. I'm not just saying there is or trying to cheer them up, because I think we both know just how dark this existence is for you. Their light. What was it that they asked before the dark took hold? What was it that they fought for? And not Gaia, not the nation. What was their hope? 'Cause yes, hope too, the spirit. And too often is it forgotten, ignored. So is there a spirit that can help heal the king of the Guru? Yes. But he can't see it.
So if I find a way for him to see it, maybe it'll help.
Maybe. But it's not as easy as it sounds.
I know, Star. Since I desperately tried to cling to my hope, I know how hard it is.
At this point, she reaches over a glowing hand and wipes a tear from your eye as it begins to fall.
But you are someone's hope. And I think you know who.
Yeah.
And what's to come? He's going to need you more than you know.
I will always be here for him. If it is in my power.
Good. As few others will be. Don't lose your light.
I will try not to.
You haven't failed yet. There's no reason to start now.
Fair. Fair. How do you like the new Karen?
Oh, it's magnificent. I haven't seen Turtle in so long.
He has a lot to catch up on. You gonna help him with that?
Oh, yes. Yes, very much so. So many stories. He loves stories.
Well, I look forward to talking to him too.
They're bringing hope back to Earth. You are succeeding, even when it feels like failure.
Right. I just gotta remember that.
A good omelet takes a lot of eggs.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean any of them are less important. Doesn't hurt to break their shell.
But we just need to make sure, as Aspen says, it's worth it when we do lose them.
And she says that it means something.
Same thing.
Yeah. Semantics, but she's the semantical type, so if you try to quote it back to her, make sure that you say it right.
Fair. Fair. I will.
You're doing good. You're doing so good. Don't be afraid. Besides, I'm always watching.
I know. I know.
She reaches out and touches the side of your face.
I lean into it.
And it's warm and comforting and filled with so much caring and kindness and love. And as you close your eyes, enjoying the touch, when you open them again, you're by the river in the dark, but that warmth against your face doesn't let up. What is going through Jester's mind now?
I feel less guilty. Still sad at her loss, but I am a bit healed with talking with Star about it. Knowing what Juniper did. And it does feel like it came a full circle. Her story did. And I just need to make sure that her story gets to the right ears with the right voice.
With that, go to break. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the second half of tonight's story. Welcome back. As we return, we find ourselves at the Split Helm, the bar down by the docks owned by Jason Thorne. Now, Jace, you find yourself in a haze of confusing, conflicting memories ever since the destruction of the staff, ever since the trip into the dreaming. You're kind of grasping to find what is real and what isn't. Because you have memories that are there of what you're pretty positive occurred. But as those are slowly getting overwritten, what's this new reality you've found yourself in? Because you remember a lot of talk, especially when you were at the library, of the forces of reality and how, if not handled appropriately, it completely break everything apart, which was why it was so necessary to handle the staff the way you did. Was it a staff? Was it a cane? Was it? So as you go to the bar, as the restaurant has been running full steam, you want to check in at all the different establishments that are popping up in your entrepreneurial efforts. Time to check in with the Split Helm. So as you arrive, before opening, you unlock the building, you head in. You know you have a meeting with Charles shortly because there's some unresolved issues there that probably should be put to bed after everything that's happened after your talk with Artie. And as you get inside, you hear noise coming from the kitchen that feels familiar and foreign. One of those conflicting memories. Heading closer to the kitchen to investigate the source of the sound, your nostrils are filled with the smells of fried food being prepared, broilers being fired up. You could hear the clanging of pots and pans and baskets used for fries or chicken fingers. And inside is a man with a well-trimmed gray beard, his hair tied back in a ponytail under a hairnet. Moses, wearing an apron, dressed in pretty casual clothing, a t-shirt with the insignia of the bar on the front and bigger on the back. Some comfortable jeans and tennis shoes. And he looks over at you with a smile. Hey boss, wasn't expecting you today.
He will look at Moses up and down, looking at how well groomed he is, the attire he has on. He'll give a small smile, walk out to the front where they had the cleaning station at the bar where they'd clean all the cups. And with fresh water, he'll turn it on, pour in some, and just splash it into his face, rub his eyes a bit.
As you take that brisk water upon your face, trying to kind of reset all the confusion, trying to clear up some of the fog, you remember, yeah, Moses works here. He was in fact one of the first hires that you made when you opened the bar. You'd met him on the boardwalk and he was a nice sort, but he was living an unhoused life. He was kind, and he was well-spoken, and he was presentable. As you've always been one to give back to the community, of course, he's the first person you thought of. But also, there was no talk of magic. There was no talk of mystery or the unknown. There was no possession, no issue. no influence. There was just Moses. Normal, mortal, human man. And that's how it's always been, hasn't it? He's always on time. In fact, he's early most of the time. He does his job well. There's never a spot in the kitchen. He's made sure to pay you back for your efforts of giving him employment. And he regales you with stories of riding the rails, traveling to places that you could only dream of, since most of your travel has consisted of Ohio or Florida, and specifically Tampa. But he talks about seeing the beach in Bali. He talks about surfing in Hawaii. He talks about going up and down the East Coast, stopping in small towns like Savannah. Not the smallest town, but more up near Rhode Island. He's lived a life. And a lot has happened in that life. But while he didn't ask for a handout, he didn't ask for employment, he seemed very comfortable in his lifestyle. When you said you were opening a bar, he volunteered. Seemingly invested in your success. Because rats recognize each other, just as kind souls do.
After the flood of all these memories, trying to piece what is reality and what has occurred in the past week in general, he'll drain the sink, just kind of rub his hand on the bar top, and then slowly make his way back in, almost like extra slow steps, right? Making sure that everything he's about to go into, is he going to see Moses back in there? He hears everything going on, but is he making this up? Is this just a happy thing that he's just kind of projecting out there? And as soon as he rounds that corner, is it just going to be an empty kitchen?
It's anything but empty when you round the corner. In fact, you almost walk face first into Moses, who's holding a plate of eggs and hash browns. Says, "Oh, made you breakfast. If you're going to be here, might as well have something to eat."
He'll stop and grab the plate and look at him. Yeah, actually, I am pretty hungry.
You all right, boss?
He puts the plate down and just pulls him into a hug. You know what? Yeah, I'm doing really well.
Moses lets out a laugh and pats you on the back a few times. Good. Glad to hear it. Every day's a new opportunity and joy.
To let go and look at him like, and did I give you an extra set of keys?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that you weren't just like letting yourself in. He'll go back to the food and sit down.
A moment later, Moses comes out of the kitchen with his own plate, the same breakfast prepared. A corned beef hash with eggs. Sits down next to you at one of the stools at the bar. You sure you're doing okay? I mean, I can give you the keys back if you want.
No, like I said, this past week or more has been mind-boggling. The whole other business and this one, and just things going on in general. It's hard to sometimes I get lost in my own thoughts. So I'm just trying to piece everything back together, make sure like everything is copacetic.
Oh, that reminds me. He hops up off of his stool and moves back into the kitchen, and you hear a little bit of rifling around, and he comes back with a package wrapped in newspaper, haphazardly wrapped, Obviously, this isn't his strong suit, held together with masking tape. He says, got you a gift. Sets it on the bar in front of you.
You didn't have to do that. He'll like pull it towards himself.
Ah, he says, gesturing dismissively.
Open it now or open it later?
Open it now. Might as well. I want to see the look on your face.
He'll put his fork down and kind of slide the plate to the side and start just ripping into it. No care about mess or anything.
As you open it, you find that it is a very nice wooden placard with a copper plate on front that says Jason Thorne, owner and proprietor. Figured you could use that for your office, the new digs.
Yeah, I like it. Did you make it?
God, no. I had to order that, but
I know you have skills in the kitchen. I wasn't sure if you had skills outside of that. Like, you do carpentry as well? Like,
oh, I can whittle like nobody's business. You got a lot of time to kill when the trains are moving down the track, but no, this is well beyond my skill set.
well, I love it, and I will definitely. I'll put it up at the new office. One of the days I'll have to come back. That kitchen, like the kitchen here, is great, but that kitchen, everything's state of the art. Like, talking big brick oven, like huge.
I don't want to put that chef out, but I'd love to take a gander.
No, I need you here. So no, and he does fine over there. Your steak.
Fair enough.
I've been gone for a week. What's been going on? Anything I missed? Any weird things happening?
I mean, no, business as usual. You know, the bikers have been coming through, but you say they're good, so they're good. They've been behaving themselves, and that group of kids that take up the back room have started coming around again. I get them food. I make sure they're well fed while they're here, and they're a handful, but they're all right. Kind of.
They keep to their own for the most part.
Yeah, it's got a charm in its own way.
Yeah, the biggest thing with them is keeping them fed and well hydrated. They're usually pretty good. It's when they get hungry, that's when you run into issues, because then they start making their way out from the back room and just start taking things from the kitchen.
Right, exactly. And we don't need anything like that. So I've been making sure there's snacks back there at all times, since I know that they can come and go anytime during the day. And just want to make sure they're taken care of.
What'd they break? I'm sure they told you not to say anything, but what did they break?
I mean, what's, a wall sconce anyway?
Expensive, but...
Yeah, they said you'd say that.
It's fine. I know a pretty thrifty person. I'll just go with them shopping one of these days and we'll get a new one.
I think they were trying to do a ring toss or something, and then it got a little wild.
I just gotta get them their new toy here sooner than later, and they should stop having to make up games.
Yeah, the tall, skinny one, he keeps saying, you know what would be nice? A pinball machine. As if I'm supposed to know what that means.
If you see him before I do, let him know that you told me, and it's very close to my next thing on my docket list.
Got it. I'll make sure they know.
So everything's been good for the past week. Anything new with you?
No, business as usual. No. Here during the day, crash out at my apartment at night, which I'm now able to afford thanks to you. And I don't know. Thinking about getting one of those little mopeds. tool up and down the coast, head on over to the ocean, and maybe take a couple days off and ride up to Cape Canaveral. You know, they just launched a rocket from there a couple weeks back.
Yeah, but let's back that up. You're gonna ride a what?
Moped.
Why?
It's like a motorcycle, but less.
It's not.
No, yours
it's
isn't
really
just
not.
a senior moped.
No, yours is a senior motorcycle. You senior fuck. No, you don't need that. We can even get you a little one. We can do like a little 100cc, 150. You don't need a little moped.
That's far too much machine for me. I just need something easy to handle, not too much maintenance. It's fine.
We can get those bikers that come by. Love working on it. I'm sure if I told them we got you a bike, they would love to get it all done for you, then make it completely road safe, and then you'll be good to go.
But Jace, how else am I gonna embarrass you than pulling up to the bar on that tiny little scooter and going beep beep?
I'm gonna have you pull around back. It's what's gonna happen. I'll get you your own parking spot, and it'll just say Moses's moped, just MM, right there.
Hey, if you're trying to play chicken with me, believe me, others have tried and failed. That sounds
I know
great.
better than play chicken with an old man. I know better than that. If
Maybe
you,
a golf cart. Maybe I should get a golf cart. That's what the old people down here seem to do.
We do golf carts. I'm down for it. I'll roll up in a golf cart.
Yeah, they've got like lights that you can put around the inside, and like you can put flashy screens on it. It's yeah.
Remember the show Pimp My Ride?
Exactly.
We're talking way back. Yeah, we'll do that with the golf carts.
All right, let's calm down with the way back talk, okay? Like that was yesterday. Just please.
That was a while ago. But if you're needing additional capital for your little bitch bike or the golf cart, can
Well,
make that
hey, in the
happen.
golf cart, you could ride with me. We could head down to the Riverwalk when they're having concerts down there or something. It'll be great.
All right, tell you, I'll get a split helm one. It'll be a little free advertising. We'll put a little tap in the back of the golf cart.
There you
We'll
go.
just serve some drinks down there.
See, there's the entrepreneur I know.
Well, money. It helps a lot. It's hard to do things in this life without some form of money.
Fair enough. As you
Glad things are doing well.
As you enjoyed talking with one another, you come to find out that Moses has been living a really comfortable life. He's just been happily enjoying the weather, enjoying the stability. He seems to really be taking to working at the bar and constantly trying to find ways to improve or assist, bringing in new food for people to try, like jalapeno poppers and, you know, fancier mozzarella sticks and the like. He's happy and completely out of touch with anything that lies beyond the veil. Which, in its own way, is sad. Because it was something you could connect over, something you could relate on. But also, he's been nothing but a friend, a companion, somebody to keep you grounded in the day-to-day. Another who knows the city. Another who knows the streets. A normal person. And there's something beautiful about that. Because in the other reality, he was a lost, confused man with large gaps of time missing in his memory. But here, he has a vivid story, all of which he remembers with a sharpness and wit of a life well lived and a strong mind. because they can cut off your access to the weave. But they can't dull your mind. It takes a certain kind of mind to be a namer. Eventually, he says, well, it's getting close to opening time. I should get in the kitchen and make sure everything's ready to go. You good? You need anything else?
You know what? I'll make them. If you can just clean this up, I got a meeting coming up.
On it. He stacks the 2 plates and wipes down the bar top before taking them into the back to be washed. Eventually, there's a knock on the front door, very precise and sharp, wrapping of a very strong and heavy fist.
He'll take a moment, tapping his fingers on the bar before scooting out, making his way over to the door. He knows who it is. He goes and says, I'm coming. And he opens the door to him.
Out front stands Charles in his suit and tie, as always. He gives a respectful bow of his head and says, Jason, you wanted to meet?
Charles. Yeah, new suit, and he'll open the door for him.
Would you believe me if I said this was one of the old ones?
It's really clean, but I've heard about your apartment, so no.
Well, considering where I was going, I wanted to have one I could get rid of if I got too dirty. And he says that with a small smile, but for him, it's like he might as well be grinning.
And the pretension starts now. Please pick any seat that you like. The cleanest ones are the ones at the far corner.
You act like it never stopped, he says as he passes you and continues into the bar before finding a seat at the bar, one of the closer ones, seemingly unbothered by it. Besides, when you've lived with malicious Jester as long as I have, you get used to this.
You mean real life? That's what you get used to? Yeah, he'll shut the door and walk over.
What can I do for you, Jason?
Well, first, you have something of mine, and I do feel a little naked now without it. So if I could get my pistol back, that would be spectacular.
You see him taken slightly aback by this and almost subconsciously lifts a hand towards his breast pocket on his suit jacket. He then slides the hand inside and pulls out the pistol and holster. I was hoping you'd ask for it back one day. I'm glad I didn't give up on that hope. He sets it on the bar top in front of you.
The feelings that I have are still there. But I don't blame you for your actions. I blame myself for mine. What the aftermath of it all could have been handled a lot better. You apologized immediately afterwards, and I did not accept that. I had things from my past that brought things to the forefront, and that was not your fault. There are things that I just bottled up and did not process properly. So for that, I am sorry.
I've had a lot of time recently to think about promises. And I broke a promise to you. One that I didn't think I was capable of breaking, to be completely honest. And you have every right to feel the way you feel about that. If it reminds you of something from your past, all the more reason. But I want you to know I'm not that person that I remind you of, whoever they are. And I never want to be the cause of any pain for you. You bring so much to this sept, to this pack, to this city, and to me. And I have never been good at showing it, because vulnerability meant weakness where I come from. And my past is reminding me of a lot and showing up more and more, it seems. And I don't want you to be another regret I have. So while I can't promise you that I can maintain control, because that has come into question now, and I have proven that I don't have as strong of a hold on it as I thought I did, I can promise you that I will never not apologize for it if I do lose control. And I will do everything in my power to make sure not to hurt you.
I appreciate your words. And speaking of promises, I asked you to make one that wasn't fair for you.
It was one of the easiest promises I've ever made, because I've always felt that way.
Yes, but at that moment, I was setting you up for failure because I wanted to watch you fall off that pillar. And the oath itself that was made, I want you to still keep it, but I want to make a few addendums, if that is possible.
You asked for it. Don't see why it wouldn't be.
You did swear it to me, and you'll look around, make sure, to the big lady itself. So I feel like if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be me or her, and she didn't really step in on these kind of things.
She is not very talkative.
No. The oath, in order to keep everyone safe and no harm. Charles, you hold a wisdom that no one else has in this sept. You have knowledge of how things were ran before this, and you have the vision that we have here. And sometimes people get hurt. And sometimes that needs to be allowed, and you can't properly help us if you're constantly avoiding pain. And that means for everyone, it's going to be extra difficult for you to get everyone up to speed, especially the new ones that have been coming through, if you have to baby them the whole time. And honestly, that's not fair to the rest of us who have trained with you and weren't babied. So trying to make sure it's an even for everyone. But
Yes,
your understanding on... Yeah, go ahead.
I've had Delphine asking if she can use the barge, or if that's still available as a method of training.
It worked.
It did. But anyway, you were saying.
The scars that you bear from your childhood, I feel like with the promise that you made, you had to cover those up. I want you to be able to use those to teach people. So your oath, instead of protecting everyone, I want you to have an oath of sharing your wisdom. And that can be through your physical prowess and your mind. For everyone within this sept and within the nation itself. Anyone you come across.
Well, first I accept, of course, but I actually had another motivation for coming here, because you have always been honest with me, straightforward with me, and I think I need your advice on something.
Well, the bridge that we had that said was burnt and is being rebuilt, so go ahead and walk it right now. Why not?
Then consider this my attempt to show vulnerability, because I am conflicted on a potential issue. I don't know if you've heard, but my teacher, Iron Oath, is in Tampa. And as far as Aspen tells me, he is petitioning for me to return to Vermont. Now, before you say anything, understand I am not eager to do so. In fact, if anything, I would only go back to tell my grandfather to fuck himself.
Whoa, that's a big word for you.
I'm quite aware Jester is clearly getting to me. But I'm conflicted because there's also a very strong opportunity for change to further the goals of what's being built here and to make sure that what happened to me, what happened to you, what happened to Isidoro doesn't happen again. And I could do that as king. But also, I know that if I go, Jester will have to go, and it's a avalanche of effects that come after that. So you can see where I'm conflicted. Because also, to do so would be to do something I have been avoiding my entire life doing, which is taking up the crown and killing the one who wears it. At least that's what Falcon told me.
All right. Well, let me tell you something from those at the bottom of this nation that you would be king of. You go there and try and make change, you're going to get a lot of pushback. Because if you try to make the changes here, you're going to have to deal with everyone that's stuck. How many allies do you have outside of here that would follow you up there?
I have to question that constantly. Isidoro's reaction to seeing me again, I'm sure, mirrors the reactions of many others that I was with over these past few years. But also, at what point is there nothing to save? And what does that mean for what we're meant to do? And I know
Those fair questions.
Outright refusal could bring a great deal of hardship to this place and what's being built here, because you're right. The court has always had machinations, motivations, advisors. My grandfather's not a bad man, but he's been burdened for far too long, lost far too much, and now is a puppet for those machinations. His decisions have become questionable, his choices have become problematic, and the nation is crumbling. Which, with all this new way of doing things that I'm learning, I would say good, as much as that pains me to say, but also all those wayward guru out there that looked towards the crown, towards the nation for stability, they're at risk. What happened to your former sept to the Michigan sept, the Wisconsin sept. That could just be the beginning. And if they can't see it, can't prepare for it, can't know that there's a nation to support them and back them, should it come to that, they will all fall one by one. It's a lot to consider because this is my home. This is my family, which means more to me than blood or duty. But also,
Jace.
I would be putting them at risk because the nation will lash back if I don't answer their call.
Jace will look at him with a big smile. That whole spiel, that is what you need. You need to convince all the other Guru that what's going on up in Vermont needs to stop. Because what is occurring, what happened to my sept, what happened in Michigan, could be happening all over. And they're not doing anything about it. You're wanting to do and make change. And that's what we're doing here. You have the name and your significant other has the voice. You need to start something here and build outwards. Yes, I would go and have you tell your grandfather to go fuck himself. That's going to be kicking that hornet's nest. And they will send someone because of that. Now, if you send word that you outright refuse, that will give us time. If you're already up there and you do that, I know how well you can fight, but I don't know if you can take on everyone there. And you're right, Jester would follow you. And that would be the end of that story. It's done. But how you just spoke to me about what you're wanting to fix, everything that you're wanting to change, that's how you build your new nation you're wanting. Not up in Vermont. You do it here. Jester has the word. She can make your story sound this overall roar within the Guru to come to Tampa, rally, and stop what's going on. The spiral is expanding ever down, and it's bringing more and more in. If we do nothing, it will consume everyone.
I agree. But as for time, I'm not sure we have it.
Then you make it.
That's the problem. That's why I would need to go. Remember, the one who taught me is also the one I was never able to defeat. And he is here, and his name isn't just hyperbole. If he made any kind of promise to bring me back, he will do whatever it takes to fulfill that promise. And while your oath may be adjusted, the one that you've made me take, the truth is still very much there. Harm will come to this sept. And what's trying to be built here.
How much does Jace know about Iron Oath? Does he have any recollection of the name or anything like that?
Roll me a intelligence and politics.
Okay. Rage 1?
1.
2?
I think you're at a 1. It was nice chatting with Moses, and while seeing Charles always bristles you a little bit, it's been a good chat. And you were bringing him here to forgive and move on, so...
4 successes.
Victor Iron Oath Volkov comes from the Sept of the Crescent Moon in Russia, one of the high houses of the Silver Fangs. He is what could be equivalent to a thane. Now, the term thane is kind of outdated, but what it is essentially is a general of soldiers. He was a advisor to the king, but he was also one of the trainers of Guru at that sept, and turned out quite a few capable and legendary Guru in his time. The fact that he is as old as he is says something, because he's never refused a fight. He's never backed down. He's been in countless conflicts with a variety of organizations, including leeches, including dancers, including Fenris. He is an honorable man, as far as one can be honorable as a Guru, but he also, his word is more solid than steel. And he will not back down, no matter what. And he didn't take fondly to the departure of the Stargazers and the Fenris. He believes in the nation, probably to a fault. And he is a dangerous combatant.
Jason will sit there for a little bit, molding over everything that he's heard about Victor. And look back, Charles. Okay, thing about Iron Oath. He trained you to be the person you are, right? And you've always been this person, but you were striving to be the picture of what they're wanting and not being true to yourself. You've always been you, and you became you here. Iron Oath did help mold you into what you are. That time I'm talking about, you need to have a conversation with him and show him what we're doing here. Because if anyone is going to be able to buy us enough time, it's going to be him. He can go back and let them know what's going on. Buying enough time for us to do something here.
He will not leave if I am not with him. Even if it means dragging my unconscious body.
Did he give a time frame?
I don't know. I haven't seen him yet. Well, frankly, I've been avoiding it, Jace, because I'm scared. Nobody can make me feel like the child I once was, like Iron Oath can.
Yeah, but you're not that kid anymore.
And neither are you. It doesn't mean it doesn't alter our reactions.
It's true, but he's a lot older now, right? And you've had a lot more years of combating the worm. You've gotten that under your belt.
If I fight him, they will bring hell to Tampa. And yes, we would be able to last for a while. But with a lot of politics and a united force, they would best us eventually. Because that old mindset that I once had, that is the mindset that is still very present for them. And I have no doubt that even if they are playing nice, they view this place as heretical. A reminder of what the Stargazers have done, the Fenris have done. But we're less. There are fewer of us than there were of either of those tribes. And they were a lot more willing to let them go before. I don't think they'll do it a third time.
Well, if Guru keep wanting to leave the nation, then maybe it's because it's fucking broken as shit and we don't want to be in it anymore.
I have come
Just
to
a thought.
realize that, yes. And that is, again, where I wonder if that's what's necessary, is a change of leadership, is someone with the mindset and knowledge of what you're saying. And I would come back. I'm not, as king, I could change where the seat of power sits. And believe me, I'm not wanting to be king. I never have been. But I also understand the influence that comes with it and the potential for success that it would bring to this place.
And then how are you going to change it from the inside, Charles? You just said you don't have any allies. No one's going to follow your rhetoric. They will see you as a tyrant trying to preach false prophecies about what could be. And then they will remove you and put someone else there that they can control. You're not going to win on that throne the way it is.
I worry about that also. In fact, that's what Aspen and Jester have both said, that I could be manipulated and that they would circumvent me. Again, it's why I'm conflicted. My gut reaction has always been to fight, to serve. It's only been here that I've changed that. So what if this reaction to stay and fight what they want is the wrong reaction? Is that training just altered? For all I know, Iron Oath has an army waiting at the Georgia border to march here. I don't know.
And let them come. Let you be a martyr then. We'll die fighting for what we believe in here.
I hear you.
Going there will be a death sentence for you and everything we believe in here. That is my advice to you. Now, going up there and maybe giving them a heads up. I don't know how Silverfangs do their politics. Usually we rats sit around and we have pizza. That's kind of how we do our thing. But I don't know if you all would honor you going up there, saying your piece, saying this isn't something you want. You don't want to sit on the throne the way it is. Would they honor war at that point to let you return?
To be honest, I don't know, because going against this is also going against the Silverfangs as a whole, because this was a destiny passed on to me by Falcon.
Did he say you'd sit on the throne the way it is, or did he say you'd make change?
He said I would take up the crown and defeat the one who carries it.
Okay, and what does the crown currently stand for?
Struggling and failing nation.
And defeating it could mean more than just taking the crown away from the person that holds it.
I know. Your advice means a great deal to me, which is why I came to you for it.
Don't envy you. That's a lot to hold.
I've been holding it my entire life. I'm just now faced with consequences for others should I continue to deny it. Before, I'm sure they viewed me as a petulant child trying to come of age and earn that honor. But now, when you say die fighting for what we believe in, that sounds all well and good, but I don't want you to die, Jason. I don't want Aspen to die. I don't want this vision for the future to die just because I'm too proud. Story of Turtle is about pride and sacrificing oneself alone. But if they hadn't, that evil would have won.
Let me sit on it and think and see what I can come up with. Maybe there's a loophole somewhere. Maybe I can dig something up on your friend. Maybe give you a little bit more room to breathe.
Well, to complicate it more, I made an oath to them as well, as a child and all throughout my youth, to the tribe, to the nation. Oh, that is another complication to throw into it.
Was your oath to the Guru or the nation as a whole?
I think you know.
I'm trying, man.
I appreciate it. I also hoped you could find a loophole. If anyone could, you could.
Like I said, give me some time. I'll find some. He's in town, right?
He is.
Okay. Yeah. It's gonna take a lot of digging because I feel like someone like that keeps things very close to their chest.
Yes. He isn't like most Guru. The world of humans that he fights for, he has no interest in. So he's not going to have a large footprint in the mortal world.
But in the Guru one, and the spiritual one at that, I'm sure in his time he might have angered some spirits in his time from Russia to here.
Should we run out of time, I am going to do what I need to do to protect this sept and buy it time. But a promise I will make to you that I will not break. I will come back. If I have to. Only if I have to go.
I hope you don't, but if I were in your shoes, I unfortunately think I would do the same. But luckily I'm not in your giant shoes.
No, I wish I were in your tiny baby shoes.
Okay, they're 10 and a half to your, what, like 12, 13 ginormous feet?
Thank you, Jace. This meant a great deal to me. All of it.
I figured since we got to spend eternity with each other, it better be friendly trees than constantly bashing each other in the wind.
Oh, I can't wait till they find out about all of that. But...
You know, secrets are a thing. You don't need to just... These are my cards.
I don't intend to tell them.
Okay.
But I'm sure it will come out eventually. All things tend to.
That's fair. Well, but since you are here and we are back to being cordial, is it Manhattan or Old Fashioned that you liked?
How about something new this time?
Whoa, okay. Let me whip something up. I'll go jump over the bar and go over and start pouring drinks.
As you make a drink, people start to come into the bar as it's now past opening. And so the conversation shifts. Charles falls mostly silent, just enjoying his drink, enjoying your company, enjoying the atmosphere before eventually saying goodbye. Saying he'd be back. He always would. What is Jason Thorne thinking after all of this?
While he's having his patrons come through and he's getting drinks and having Moses bring out food, he's trying to find a way for his friend to get out of this really sticky situation that he's in. And everything that he is bringing up or brought up to Charles is brought back to these oaths that were kept, these promises, and how they are the wall that's stopping it. But every wall has a weak point. And so he's thinking of who he can reach out to within the city that would be able to best serve the overall questions that he has about Iron Oath. And the only one he would trust with such a overall request would be his patron.
In dreams, time doesn't exist. For us, it could be 4 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours. But in our dreams, it could be millennia, or it could be seconds. In the waking world, time stops for no one. The world keeps turning, events keep unfolding, and once something goes into motion, it won't stop. It could alter course. It could change direction, but it won't stop. And for someone who puts a lot of stake in oaths, they will ensure it won't stop by any means necessary. We now transition to our final scene of the evening. Aspen, you have had so many new developments brought to you since your return from the dreaming. Not a lot of them have been great, and on top of that, it doesn't change any of the things that happened before you went. Those are still ever present and at your doorstep. Iron Oath is still in town and is expecting correspondence and further negotiations. Matthias has been strange. You're finding out more and more. The Hellhounds want to open a new sept, or a new cairn. My mistake, cairn. And you've lost a sept member. It's hard to see far in the distance when the present is just constantly bombarding you more and more. And all this talk of oaths, destiny, it's making it even harder to see beyond. And that's what Silverfangs are supposed to do. That's what their patron teaches them to do, is to look further, to not dwell on the present, but to look ahead, plan, execute, move. Since you're feeling stuck in this particular moment, what's going through your mind and what are your intentions?
Since being back from the dreaming, it's one of those situations where Aspen is usually the person that hops out of bed, gets dressed, is on the move, is ready to tackle the next thing. But it's becoming in the last couple of days just one of those things where you lay in bed She lays in bed with Artie, just bemoaning the fact that she has to get up and do work and more work. And when does it end? And where do we go? And what do we tackle first? And it just becomes this loop of where do we go? So as much as she wants to tackle all of the things all at once, it's just overwhelming. So she needs insight on a lot of things. And particularly this looming iron oath. This oath. And who better to talk to than the one that foresaw it all those years ago?
So where do you go? What do you do? How do you approach your patron?
She goes off, just out of the cairn, on her own. She's been around these parts. She's hunted with stakes and Jester around here. But there's a particular spot that she was at with Jace, a spot on a log up a hilly area that just she remembers comfort in small moments. So she goes there and she grabs the feather that she has, a little wooden falcon totem, and she puts them out and puts them in an order that she's now very used to, and holds one of the feathers and runs it through her fingers as she does spirit summoning to speak to Falcon.
As you initiate the rite, calling out to Falcon, your patron, you've come to learn that when you call out to patrons, it's not necessarily the patron themselves that answers, but if you are connected enough, an avatar will. Without needing to make a roll, as this is your patron, and the difficulty would be quite low. Shortly after you make the call, the sounds of fluttering wings, an almost deafening cacophony of wings, as if hundreds of birds took flight all at the same time. But only one bird arrives. Silvery gray falcon lands upon a branch just above you. It looks a few times, surveying, studying, and then hops down, flapping its wings a little bit more to come down to your level. Lands on the ground, does the little bird walk forward towards the totem, pecks at it, looks at the feather, and then up at you. Aspen Oathbreaker.
It's been a while.
Has. But you've been busy, haven't you?
It's putting it plainly.
Building a future often is.
Yeah, building a future kind of just feels like putting out fires right now, but the vision's there.
What is it you require?
An explanation. Maybe a little insight after that.
An explanation for?
I think you're aware of the other of us here, even though he doesn't like to speak to you often, from my understanding. Apparently there's a big to-do about that man and what he represents and what his, and she gets really dramatic, destiny is supposed to be.
Seems fairly straightforward. What explanation is necessary?
Why? Why this oath? Why why foreseeing? Why him?
Because if not him, who else? And I did not make the future, I just saw it.
Why does it have to be the way it's always been?
Would you have it go to someone else? You know as well as I. At one time there was only one fit to wear it. Your time has come, and it has gone. Now another must.
Why? Why does it have to be that way? That was so long ago. You look at me with your judgment. But then what's the point of me doing this? What's the point of everything? Why keep it the way it is if it's not working? You, as well as I, know that it's not working.
Was working once.
That was a long time ago.
How would you know?
I educate myself. Kind of comes with the Silverfang Philodox territory.
Change doesn't happen overnight. How long did it take you to even embrace this destiny of yours? And what did it take to get there?
It took time, it took effort. Not saying it doesn't. I'm just saying repeating patterns doesn't put a lot of onus on change.
Some things don't have time. Or are overdue to occur. Perhaps the state of things now is due to a failure to accept what must be done. Doesn't change the need of it doing. It just postpones, and with that postponing comes consequences.
The nation being shattered isn't because he postponed. He's not that old.
Neither are you.
It's true. But the nation was shattered before he was ever born. Isn't that right? The Fenris, the Stargazers, they left before that.
Yes.
It kind of seems like trying to put a band-aid on a bullet hole.
And your philosophies, your vision, that would appeal to all?
I wouldn't say so. I don't think one sight, one vision appeals to all, but it's an opportunity to fix what's broken.
Why do you care?
Charles?
Charles, destiny.
Because I think it's unfair. I think it's not what this is meant to be.
So is the life of Guru. Unfair from the day they change.
But the scales have been tipped outside of our favor for quite a long time, and I'd like to just notch it a couple of meters our direction.
Who's to say this wouldn't?
Didn't work the first time. I'm frustrated, Falcon. How long do we follow destiny and lose? Or sacrifice? How long?
It's because of your last encounter with destiny, isn't it?
It's because of a lot of things. It's because of that. It's because people deserve choice.
Are you afraid of what it would do to him? Or what he would do to you?
Might be hard to believe a lot of people, but I'm not afraid of Charles. Not afraid of what he can do or what he could do. I want him to have the opportunity to do something else because he wants it.
You talk a lot about want, but you can't want to not be Guru and it happens. You could want the worm to be defeated and it's not. I appreciate your desire to make others believe that they can have what they want. But some things just are. You changed. You are Guru. Even if you gave yourself to Harana or Hoglust, you would be Guru.
Some things are constant.
Go ahead.
Some things are a constant. I understand that. But destiny's not a constant. Our choices, while being Guru, they change, they flow, they flux. And why can't we want any more? Because we're told we're fighting for Gaia, we do that anyways. We can't choose to care about anything else. We must sacrifice and only do that, and that's all that we're worth.
Of course not. This isn't about that. You can want, you can pursue those wants. Some want to see the world saved, others want to see it burn. And yes, some must sacrifice more than others to allow them to want. This is what he was born to do. And though you have grown fond of him and see his value to your goals, what point has those goals if it all comes crashing down?
Was it what he was born to do, or what is it what he was trained to do?
He trained because he was born. The destiny wouldn't have changed had he lived a normal human life as a child. He would just have been further unprepared for it.
How can you say that for sure? My point is, we aren't born to our tribes. We're not born to that culture. If it was, we'd be assigned as soon as we became Guru. But we're not. We choose, or they choose us, because we're not born to it. We make choices to get there.
Most aren't. Not anymore. But for the line of Morningkill and Albrecht, they are. And
So
for
a name
others,
is-
some are still.
So a name is destiny.
Not the name, the person who bears the name. The Albrechts bear a strength, a honor. This wasn't happenstance or a game. It was foreseen. The nation would shatter and crumble. And would be rebuilt.
With Charles Albrecht wearing the crown. Is that correct? What exactly was this vision? Could you enlighten me? And Aspen is much more combative than she's ever been with Falcon every time she's interacted with them. This is very uncharted territory for Aspen, but she's just so angry and so upset by everything that she's combative with Falcon at this point.
Are you entitled to that? It's not your destiny.
I'd like to know.
Roll me a charisma or manipulation and intimidation. Because you are not coming from a persuasive place.
Am I at rage 1?
You're probably at rage 2 now, to be honest.
Okay. Three.
Falcon stares at you. Those black inky pools, harsh and hardened, direct and focused. The time will come where you must pick up arms against the one that wears the crown. At that time, you must defeat them and take it for your own. Or else, all will be destroyed.
So the whole of the entirety of everything we've built is resting upon the shoulders of one guru.
Plainly? Yes.
Plainly, that's complete. And she pauses. It's ridiculous.
I didn't create it. I just hold it. You can decide to deny destiny as Charles Albrecht has. It doesn't change the ending. If anything, it brings it closer. Three sets of your brethren have fallen. Was that happenstance, or was that consequence?
And in all of this, there's no way to fix the one who wears it then.
Perhaps for a time. But again, you are stalling, denying. Some fights have met their end so that others may begin.
Heard this Silver Crown story. Now it feels like way too many times. First time I heard it was Matthias when he first came here. One of the very first conversations I had with him, he told me all about the Silver Crown and how it would be brought and bring great things to the nation and how it was lost. He told me all of that to embolden me to do all of this. It did. But the thing is, I didn't need the crown.
You didn't. But again, this prophecy isn't for you.
So what do you suggest then, Falcon? You go there, take up the crown. We continue doing what we're doing here. What?
I think you must go to Vermont. as must Charles. The time to deny destiny is running out. Very quickly. Where you have fallen, more will fall. Apocalypse is here.
And that's what I will do, oh wise Falcon. Before we depart, any insight, any help you have for a ghoul in a prison or a, I don't know, group of vampires, leeches that are running amok? Anything you can help me with there?
For the tower to fall, for a crown to be broken, many hands must rise. Aside claws, blood will fill the streets. But revenge will be gotten. Even if it's not as satisfying as one would wish.
Foreboding as ever.
If I spoke plainly, it would take away your agency for choice. That is your problem with the prophecy for Charles.
It is. I appreciate it.
I will give you this. The prophecy ends with taking the crown, not what comes next.
Understood. I appreciate your candor, and I appreciate your insight.
I appreciate your vigor and your vitriol.
My apologies.
With that, the Falcon snatches up the feather, leaving the statue behind. And as it takes off, fluttering to the sky, the statue falls over. Leaving you sitting on the same spot, overlooking your territory. How does it leave you feeling?
Frustrated. Destiny is fickle and irritating. Aspen doesn't believe in it much, but spirits have their ways of making things happen. And at the very least, with all the frustration, all the irritation, she does feel a little bad about being rude to Falcon because that's not her usual way of talking to spirits. And at the end of the day, they did give information, if not a little vague, but it's more than she had before. So, still very frustrated, but at least a little more insight than she had before.
And this is where our story comes to a close this evening. But not without one last scene. Our last scene takes us to Victor Iron Oath Volkov, who stands in a hotel room, fancy but Spartan, the bed firmly made with a military-esque grace, having been made time and time and time again in a similar fashion. He stands near the window, phone in hand. I have found him, and I will return him to you. We then cut to the other end of the phone, where a young woman, maybe in her mid-20s, stands holding a phone of her very own. She has a fierceness to her look, a hardened exterior, and the same white hair, almost blonde, bound back in a braid that falls down across her shoulders. She wears regal attire, but still modern. Understood, Papa. Bring my betrothed back to me. And this is where our episode comes to a close. Thank you so much to these amazing players. Thank you to everybody watching at home. Go follow St. Pete by Night on all of that social media you see down below, and sign up for the Ko-fi, where you can become a member for as low as $5 a month and get access to all kinds of behind-the-scenes featurettes. Also, this week, we have a new episode of Hellhounds coming on Friday. See what those vagabonds are up to, ragabash vagabonds, whatever, what they're up to. And then on Sunday, a new episode of Red Tide Rising. And the spice just gets spicier with that group, so go check them out. But for these amazing players, I'm Kent. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.